Hello, why GSM works for sewing tops? Well, I will say that when you are buying fabric online, you can see if they have GSM, listed for the fabric you are looking for, and take note of those. And from my personal experience, I will say that 115 GSM to 140 GSM fabric are good for sewing top, but just know that you can work outside of those parameters. So first we have quilting cotton here, and this quilting cotton will say 140 GSM, and the top that I'm wearing or my pants, they are made out of quilting cotton, so I'm using, and most of my fabrics here will say 140 GSM. That's how I know that quilting cotton are around 140 GSM. So the higher the GSM, the thicker the fabric is. For instance, jean fabric used to sew jean is around 340 GSM. So the higher the GSM gram per square meter type of fabric weighted, the higher the GSM, the thicker the fabric is. The lower the GSM, the softer the fabric is, the lighter the fabric is, the drapier the fabric is. So this is a quilting cotton. I cannot see you through it. So it's not very see-through, it's not sheer, is structured, but it's 140 GSM. You can sew your top from them, especially if you just start sewing. You can sew your top from them. And I have found 120 GSM as well. And I am not seeing it right now, but this fabric is very soft, and I can see you through it. It's very soft, and I don't think this is 140 GSM. I like the softness of it, and I think this could easily be 120. And I know I came across 120 before. Well, that would be 95 GSM. So this say 95 GSM. It is the same texture as this one or this one. And one of my daughters like to pick those check fabric, but yeah, so that's good that this one put it on it. Yes, the same way. I can see you through it the same way as the others, and that's good that they put it on it, that 95 GSM. And I sewed top for her in it. In fact, I thought I sewed pants in it for her, but I'm not entirely sure, but I sewed top in it for her. So 95 GSM will work. So I say 115, but 95 GSM will work as well. Again, it is a little bit on the sheer side, but once she wears it, you can really see her through. So, and if you wear cami underneath your things, even better, but just keep in mind that this is a little bit sheer. But I don't know, I'm not seeing much through it either, but light, I can see light through it. But 95 GSM, yes. And I found it in the quilting cotton fabric. I like to call them printed fabric. but it can be called quilting cotton fabric, and this is very soft compared to the others. And I like it when I see those GSM because it allows me to learn more about those fabrics. So other than that, most of them here are 140 GSM, but I think I came across 120 as well. And during my research, maybe last year, when I was looking, into those, they put, like, I think you can even find fabric 50 GSM to 100 GSM. They say they are super lightweight, they will be sheer, and medium lightweight they put 100 to 170 GSM, and they put quilting cotton as 170 to 230 GSM. I will disagree, but again, maybe there is a wide range for it. I just know that my so-called quilting cotton here, they are 140 GSM. I don't really see anything higher than that. Although I have 185 GSM and 220 GSM here, but I won't call those quilting cotton. This is 185 GSM, and they are very great for napkin, a dinner napkin type. I sew those to sell, and you can use them to wipe dishes. They soak water quite a bit out of dishes. So for a fact, I know that those are very great to wipe dishes with, and you can use it to sew pants as well. But I have not experienced sewing top out of it. You can sew a dress, that would be very structured. You can sew maybe a jacket, that you can wear on your sleeveless top out of those. If you want something that is more structured for those, that will work. But again, for top like this, I have not sewn it in this to tell you about it, but you can sew pants out of this. I have, you won't be able to see it here, but it's 220 GSM. Well, let me see if I can find a better one. $220 GSM. I like to use those to sew bags, and I sew pants, especially this one. I sew pants for my daughters. In fact, I think my son as well. It's great for them. So I know for a fact that those GSM can work for pants, but I just never sew top out of it. And I will want to use it to sew a jacket, a short jacket, but I would have preferred it if it's like a solid color like this one. But I don't have a lot left out of this, for instance. And I sew bags, out of those 220 GSM, I sew bags out of them. So they can work well for pants, but now I don't know how they will be for tops. So it will be too structured. So therefore, since we are sewing sleeveless top and blouses, we have 140 GSM that we can work with. 2024, I purchased those fabric that I have not sewed yet, but I like to sew it so that I can pretty much in search of type of fabric I will use for our clothing, for our top, searching what kind of fabric I will use. I like to try different type of fabrics, and I can narrow it down to few that when I'm shopping fabrics for our clothing, back to school clothing for the kids and my work wardrobe, I know what to buy. And I have double gauze here, I have broadcloth, and I have poplins that I like to work with, but I have now carrying to them. Believe I purchased 2 broadcloth, and then I have poplins. Things is you can find, with those apparels, you don't find a diverse design to work with. While in quilting cotton you can. So those are different GSM, and based on the website that I purchased those from, the double gauze, they have a range for it as well. The double gauze, they have from 120 GSM to 115 GSM, and I don't recall which one this one is, but I know that I took note of it when I was buying it. So that is the range they have for double gauze. And they have gauze cotton fabric as well for from 80 GSM to 130 GSM. Even for gauze cotton they have that range, and for double gauze they have 115 GSM to 120. So you can see there that even gauze and double gauze you can find from 100 maybe find something in the 95 to 130 GSM. You can make top. Double gauze, you'll be looking for those that is not too sheer, so 95 to 130 you can sew a top for you for that. I saw a flannel, brush flannel from 135 to 140 GSM, and I have flannel and I use it for shirts and pants for my son. In fact, I have it here too. I just don't know the GSM for it, but it's not a heavy flannel. So, but there is one that is heavier that I sew a shirt in it for him as well. So this is heavier and he likes it. So the heavier it is, the warmer it is, I think. So I'm going to put this here that I can bundle them together. So, but just keeping those in mind, and I have found on that website, I found solid color like this one, that blue, to be in the range of 125 GSM. No, in fact 170 GSM. The one with design, 125 GSM. And they have double flannel for 200 GSM. So I have not really purchased those flannels from them to see the thickness of it and compare it to the one that I have worked with in the past that I purchased from store around, to see which one is thicker. But I just know that I have the solid color that I have was thicker, and I use it for top just fine, and I sew it on a regular sewing machine just fine. So, and for the poplin, they have the poplin with design like this is 110 GSM. So it's compared to my quilting cotton that are 140 GSM. This poplin is 110 GSM. They have, you know, poplin from 110 GSM to 130 GSM. So I don't really know which this will be about 130 GSM is polka dot one that I wrote down. So it's not too far away from my quilting cotton. So the broadcloth that I have here, 120 GSM. The website has those for 120 GSM. They have some with design on it for 110 GSM, and they have another one just like Gigan type of design broadcloth for 125 GSM. So all of those, you will be able to sew your top with those. So cotton voile, 100% cotton, they are what we are talking about. I have seen it for 70 GSM. So that will be very sheer, that will be drapey. If you are willing to wear something underneath it, then, or if it will be like a cover or something like that. But again, we are talking about sewing tops in terms of blouses and shirt and top, sleeveless top. So voile will be a little bit sheer. But if you are going for something daring where you will wear some coming underneath it, you know, and have that top, whether it's blouse, full long sleeve blouse that is sheer, but you have a good coming underneath it, then that voile 70 GSM might work. Otherwise, I would think it would be a little bit on the sheer side, but I have not tried myself to attest to that. And there is cotton sheeting, which will be like a bed sheet for 150 GSM. But I'm just going to say that again, not bed sheets can be actually used to sew as well. So if bed sheet is around 150 GSM, you can sew shirt out of those. I will say that, you know, from 140 GSM to, like we just saw 95 here, to 95 GSM, those are safe range to work with when you are looking for fabrics to sew your top. 95 GSM will be on the sheer side, to 140 GSM will be on the structured side. Since that 95 GSM will be more drapier, more lighter, more softer, less structured, because it will be more drapier, and things on the 140 GSM will be more opaque, less sheer, less drapey, more structured, and you'll be able to sew your tops with those type of fabric within those two ranges. You can go a little bit outside of those ranges if you want to try out the type of fabrics and see for yourself. But if you just start sewing, you could narrow your choices down, and once you design a pattern, you like that pattern, you can test out the type of fabric within those range to it, to see which fabrics you like better with certain design of tops, and go from there. So thank you so much for watching. We thank you for your time. Thank you for all your comments, and we thank you very much for subscribing to our channel. I'm Afiavi Liberman, Cross of Liberman Consulting, L.L.C YouTube channel, and ninasoap.com, our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And sewing your own clothing is one way to save money. Thank you. Happy sewing.